Pawn Stars has introduced quite a number of amazing personalities over the years to the public. These individuals have ridden on the popularity of the show to make something out of themselves. If you follow the show closely, you must be familiar with Danny Coker, one of the experts that the Harrisons call on each time they have classic cars brought into the shop. He appears to share the same enthusiasm with Old Man Harrison on classic cars too. Danny's presence on Pawn Stars earned him the opportunity to own his own show, Counting Cars, which unfortunately is no longer on air. Now let's look at this particular show and what might have pulled it down after just 10 seasons. To understand Counting Cars, we need to rewind a bit. In 2009, a little show called Pawn Stars exploded onto the scene. Set in Las Vegas' gold and silver pawn shop, the show captured the public's fascination with haggling, history, and the sometimes eccentric characters who walked through the doors. Pawn Stars gathered interest and the ratings grew, opening doors for spin-off ideas. The show features spin-offs such as American Restoration, Cajun Pawn Stars UK, Pawngraphy, Pawn Stars Australia, and of course, the now off-air Counting Cars. So, Counting Cars was basically a spin-off of the History Channel's Pawn Stars, and it took viewers inside the wacky and wonderful world of Count's Customs, owned by the one and only Danny Coker, aka The Count. We could still find some of the familiar faces from Pawn Stars such as Rick and Chumley. Following Danny's activities with the Pawn Stars, the History Channel thought it would be a great idea to give Danny a shot at owning his own show, and that was the birth of Counting Cars in 2012, taking the viewers beyond just seeing these cars appraised, to seeing what happens when these cars are being made to look their best. A show dedicated to the world of classic car restoration. There you have Danny Coker, a flamboyant character with a deep love for cars and an even deeper love for rock and roll. His Las Vegas-based shop, Count's Customs, wasn't just a business. It was a haven for all things automotive, from pristine restorations to wild customizations. And this was the main attraction that drew fans to the show. When it first started, Counting Cars took viewers on a wild ride alongside Danny and his crew, which was made up of some really interesting characters. The show featured people like Shannon Eichow, Ziggy Marley, the talented Ryan Evans, and Horny Mike. As much as the characters were the reason for the initial success of the show, their activities might have contributed significantly to the downfall of the show too. However, looking on the brighter side of the show, each episode followed, as they unearthed hidden gems at auctions, wrestled with rusty wrecks in the shop, and transformed them into gleaming automotive masterpieces. The show had all the classic reality TV elements, featuring high-pressure deadlines, creative clashes, and the occasional outburst from the passionate and sometimes volatile Danny. Most reality shows that became really popular in the United States did so because these shows don't only end up being entertaining, they also tend to be informative and educative, showing the effort and dedication that goes into making some of the things that we value. Not minding the later challenges that enveloped the show, they sure did see some pretty good days where they made restorations that left everyone talking. One instance is the 1968 Bullitt Mustang, which was seen in the pilot episode of the show. The car came from Rick Harrison, from Pawn Stars, and Danny and the team did an amazing job bringing back the car to its former glory. This went on to become one of the most remarkable transformations on the show, helping solidify the fan base. The decline. Let's be honest, restoring classic cars isn't easy. It takes a unique blend of technical expertise, artistic vision, and a whole lot of patience. Counting Cars showcased these challenges, but did it sometimes sacrifice authenticity for drama? This was the question that many began to ask, especially when some of the things that went on behind the screen started to come to light. At some point, it seemed the show loved to highlight tight deadlines that had mechanics scrambling to meet unrealistic expectations. Budget constraints were constantly thrown into the mix, creating scenes where viewers wondered if the finished product would even run, let alone be a work of art. Some viewers felt this focus on manufactured drama overshadowed the actual restoration process. Sure, it was entertaining to see Danny bark orders or someone crack a sarcastic joke, but the intricate work of rebuilding an engine or painstakingly restoring a body panel often took a back seat. This lack of focus on the technical side alienated some car enthusiasts, who felt the show didn't do justice to the dedication and skill required in classic car restoration. And this was just in fact one of the issues that started to surface from the show. The drama that unfolded outside what you would see on the screen became even more intense, which questioned the integrity of some of the casts of the show, which in extension would affect the trust that customers had for them. In the long run, it turned out that Counting Cars wasn't immune to the pitfalls of reality TV. As the show progressed, cast controversies began to emerge, tarnishing the reputation of Count's customs and jeopardizing the show's image. The case that might put the nail in the coffin for the show was that of Joseph Frontiera. Born in July 1988 in the United States, Joseph joined the Counting Cars in 2013, just a year after the show had started. He came on the recommendation of the hiring firm Randstad Professionals, so the team might not have been concerned with carrying out background checks on Joseph. But fast forward to 2016, the show came on the news for the wrong reason, being caught in a lawsuit, accusing Joseph of embezzlement and also suing Randstad Professionals for recommending him for a position on the show, even when they knew Joseph had an outstanding case in Florida for embezzlement. As it turned out, Joseph had a signature stamp made for him, which had the signatures of both his bosses, Danny and Kevin Mack. Of course, this was without their knowledge, and he used the stamp to gain access to the company's money. With such access, he was able to finance some of his fantasies, buying a Range Rover and even using the money to finance some of his personal needs, totaling about $75,000. It was revealed that his scheme even spread to the client accounts, which affected the trust that clients had in the crew. And that wasn't just it. They also discovered that Joseph also failed to pay the time tax charges, attracting a fine of $18,000 from the IRS. Joseph was also fined $3,500 by the court for a robbery crime that happened in 2013. Overall, he was a bad image for the show, and Joseph had to be let go. In addition, the people in charge at Counting Cars had to wipe his name off the records of the show, just as a way to disassociate from his many crimes, but this kind of stain is one that might never go away. In addition, legal disputes with customers became a recurring theme due to one reason or another. Disgruntled clients alleged that project timelines and costs went far beyond what was initially agreed upon. One particularly messy case involved a customer who claimed the shop botched the restoration of a vintage Corvette. The case was between Counting Cars and the Hertz. According to details available on the case, Jeanette Hertz wanted to gift her husband a classic Ford Mustang and had reached out to the crew trusting their experience. She was charged $50,000 for all the expenses required, with a promise that the car would also feature in one of the episodes of the show. But as it turned out, the car never featured in the show, and the crew was very much behind on fulfilling the order at all. In fact, she had claimed that they didn't get the 1967 Mustang Coupe that she had requested. And as you would imagine, such cases are bound to leave certain impressions on potential customers. These legal entanglements cast a shadow on Count's customs, leaving viewers questioning the integrity of the work showcased on the show. Outside these cases that made it out to the public, the show always presented their clients as satisfied and happy with the restoration done on their vehicles. The failure to capture both the good and bad times on the show started raising some questions. So beyond legal battles, whispers about the authenticity of some restorations started to swirl. Fans with keen eyes noticed inconsistencies in the show's editing, leading to accusations that certain restoration processes were staged or heavily edited for dramatic effect. This raised questions about the show's commitment to depicting the real struggles and triumphs of classic car restoration. While reality TV always takes a degree of creative license, the audience felt misled if the work wasn't a genuine representation of what happened behind the scenes. Reality shows became so popular because they show raw footage of struggles, processes, and results, being a way for viewers to get a sense of what life is like on the other side. When such originality is absent, there may not be a need for them to stick around any longer. These controversies, coupled with rumors of off-screen issues involving some cast members, began to chip away at Counting Cars' credibility. While the exact details remain murky, There were reports of cast members facing challenges in their personal lives that inevitably spilled over and affected the show's overall atmosphere. As Counting Cars entered its later seasons, the drama became more than just a sprinkle on the reality TV sundae. It threatened to become the main course. Scandals, both on and off screen, became a recurring theme. The line between reality and manufactured drama began to blur. This, combined with the declining ratings, put Counting Cars in a precarious position. Though some of the allegations and happenings that involve the cast and the show itself are yet to be confirmed, having such a trail certainly wasn't a good look on the show. Sooner than later, there was bound to be a vote of no confidence on the show. So, despite a loyal fan base who remained passionate about the show's core concept, Counting Cars ultimately ran out of gas in 2021. The History Channel wasn't going to give any approval for it to continue airing on the channel. Consequently, the show quietly sputtered to a stop after 10 seasons, leaving many fans wondering what exactly happened. The official reason for the cancellation remains unconfirmed by the History Channel or the show's production company. However, considering the factors we've discussed, one could guess what the problem might have been. This ranges from declining viewership, production challenges, cast controversies, and a general sense of negativity surrounding the show. Or maybe a combination of all these elements. Let's face it, reality TV is a fickle beast. What starts hot can quickly fizzle out. Counting Cars may have fallen victim to this harsh reality. The initial excitement of seeing classic cars brought back to life wore thin for some viewers, replaced by a sense of predictability and manufactured drama. Though Counting Cars may be a thing of the past, its legacy lives on. The show undoubtedly played a role in popularizing classic car restoration and customization. It introduced viewers to the world of Count's customs and the interesting personality of Danny Coker. Love him or hate him, Danny's passion for cars was undeniable, and it fueled the show's early success. Born in Cleveland, Ohio, Danny had a background where his father and some other close associates worked with the Ford Motor Company. It was here that he developed the eyes for good cars and how to bring back dead ones to life. Running a show like Counting Cars must have been a dream come true for Danny. However, this dream was cut short as the show's later seasons were marred by controversy, raising questions about its authenticity and overshadowing the artistry and dedication involved in classic car restoration. Focusing more on the activities of the cast and sticking to the idea behind reality shows would have done them some good. While some fans may fondly remember the early days of Counting Cars, for others, it would be the show's final skid marks, which left a tarnished impression. While the drama surrounding restorations and the back and forth with legal battles were significant factors in Counting Cars' decline, another element often overlooked is the impact of cast member departures over the years. Reality shows often feature characters that the viewers learn to identify with and look forward to seeing in every season. They kind of hold the idea that the show is built on. Over the show's 10 seasons, several key members left Count's Customs for one reason or another, each creating a void that the show struggled to fill. Looking at the roles that some of these characters played on the show, you would immediately understand why the show had a decline in viewership towards its last days. One of such cast members that left is Kevin Mack. His absence from the show since 2019 must have been a major blow to the show. He was basically the right-hand man to Danny. We don't really know why Kevin left the show, and the producers haven't made any revelations on his whereabouts either. He wasn't the only one, though. While the show never explicitly addressed every departure, here are some insights into why a few key members left. We have Scott Jones, who also left the show after only 2 seasons. As is popular with reality TV shows, they shrouded Scott's exit in mystery, leading to fans speculating about what might have happened. Some speculate it stemmed from a disagreement with Danny Coker's management style. Scott, known for his financial expertise, was in charge of bookkeeping in the store. So there is a chance that he might have clashed with Danny's more impulsive approach, especially after they already had a case with embezzlement in the past. But there is another plausible theory, which suggests that Scott moved for a quieter life back in Tennessee, especially after his son's birth. The show briefly mentioned that he had a newborn in the family in the early episodes of Season 3, which suggests a family-driven decision. Aside from the ones that actually left the show, there were often speculations that certain frictions within the shop would make some like Michael Henry, who is also known as Horny Mike, leave the show. This speculation was mainly fueled by the fact that some fans believed that Danny didn't really like him for some reason. But Danny has often come out to debunk such claims. Horny Mike was a fan favorite for his airbrushing skills and sense of humor. He has some mind-blowing skills with airbrushing and was a very important member of the crew. He got the nickname Horny Mike because he was fond of painting horns into his work, and he also has a couple of signature horns attached to his bandana. Though he stuck around till the show stopped airing in 2021, there was obvious friction between him and Danny. Fortunately, this didn't interfere with his job at the shop. Ordinarily, some might not understand what impact such a shuffle can have on a show. The loss of these key cast members had a significant impact on Counting Cars. People like Scott Jones and Kevin Mack brought more than just skill sets. They brought a specific dynamic to the team. Their camaraderie, their ability to bounce jokes off each other, and their individual personalities all contributed to the show's early charm. Replacing these veterans wasn't easy. New cast members were brought in, but they struggled to replicate the established chemistry and expertise. Trusting the skill set of their replacements was also a factor for the customers. After the departures of Scott and Kevin, Counting Cars saw a revolving door of new faces. While some brought talent and enthusiasm, they lacked the established relationships and the natural comedic flow that existed with the original crew. Viewers may have felt a sense of disconnect with the newer cast, making it harder to invest in the characters and the shop's dynamic. The frequent cast changes also fueled concerns about the show's authenticity. With the core team gone, viewers might have questioned whether the restorations were truly a collaborative effort or if they were being staged with less experienced mechanics. This lack of trust in the process could have further alienated viewers who initially enjoyed the show for its glimpse into the real world of classic car restoration. Some also believe that disruptions caused by the pandemic in 2020 might also have been a factor. It would have been the final blow on the show, with its already shaky foundations. Despite the show being off-air, Danny is still very much active in the shop and has also gotten some time to reconnect with his music career and has released a new one with his band Count 77. For him, his love for cars remains, and we would love to see what he will venture into in the coming days. Do you really believe these factors might have been responsible for the show being put on hold? Or is there some other reason you believe we didn't touch? Let us know in the comments and do join us in coming episodes as we open up more secrets.